Doing part 3 of Monongahela demo, and we did this, we did the wrap and turn thing, and now we're going to do the edges, which are tricky. It took me forever to figure out how to even do correctly. The first thing I'm going to note is that the number of repeats in every instance, the number of stitches within each repeat, that is, goes up by 2 stitches in the first row of the edges, and that's not just for the demo. And as far as the edge points, it's a little more inconsistent. That sort of depends on certain things. A lot of it is just more or less my whim, but anyway, here we go. So we start with the base of the points, which is the last 2 rows that are worked entirely across. And then after that, there's like this back and forth thing. And the other thing I need to note here is that these charts include the edge stitches, which change from a 3-stitch I-cord selvage to a 2-stitch reducing I-cord selvage. Okay? And then something else happens, including this and an I-cord cast off and blah blah blah. But we'll get to that. So we will start with this. And so it begins. Start by knitting 1. This is our edge. Slip, slip, knit 2 stitches together. Yarn over. Slip, slip, knit 2 stitches together. Yarn over. Okay, that's 2 yarn overs. And a central double decrease. And by the way, this is a take 2 on this, so my stitches are oriented a little bit differently than they normally would be. But anyway, yarn over. Oh yeah, they're very conveniently oriented. Knit 2 together, yarn over. Slip the stitch marker. Okay, see? So where I am? Knit 1, yarn over. Slip, slip, knit, yarn over, slip, slip, knit, yarn over, and as you can see, you got 3 yarn overs and 2 that eat up 1. So you're adding 3 and subtracting 2. So you're adding 1 to that half of the repeat. Okay, here we've got our center stitch. Knit 1, yarn over. Knit 2 together, yarn over, knit the 2 together, yarn over, slip the stitch marker, yarn over, and we're back in the beginning of the repeat because I have 2 repeats, right? Okay, so that was a yarn over there. Knit 1. Blah. Oh, how's the light? Is that good?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. All right. I hope it's good. Well, we had a cat walking in front before. Okay. So it's 1, 2, 1 more yarn over. The center stitch there, and you generally can tell where your center stitch should be because it all lines up. Yarn over. So on. Okay, yarn over this guy. 1 yarn over. Get these 2 guys together. Central double decrease, and there's one other thing that's unique here. Yarn over, and that is as we hit these edge stitches, you will notice, yarn over, that I'm reducing the selvage by 1 stitch. By knitting the two stitches together. Alright. So I guess overall, did we lose 2 stitches or were the same? I can't remember. Well, at any rate, eventually it becomes this. So you slip the 2 edge stitches and just work your way back. And chances are I'll edit out some of this. I'll see if I have anything important to say. Let's see. Do I have anything important to say, Todd, about this? Can you think of something enlightening? Okay, just remember this is your last row to be worked all the way across. The return from the first edge thing, which is really the point base setup. It kind of, you know, leaves you little reminders of where you're going to go next. So it makes it easier to just kind of go like, oh yeah, this is what I do. And you don't really need to look at your pattern all the time. Stitch. Okay, and the last 2 stitches. Hey, get out of the light. Abe, go. Are slipped. And now we're going to work on our first point. And get out of here, cat. So you knit 1. These 2 stitches are knit together, yarn over. Okay, here's the center stitch, which is knit. And then here, instead of knitting the last stitch, we do backwards loop, a backwards loop cast on, and it's just like that. I sort of like to pick it up like that and make sure it has a bit of a twist. But anyway, we work our way back, and another thing that you kind of need to be concerned about is getting your tension right. It's kind of tricky. I tend to get it looser, so I don't know. It's just something to play with when you're working on your points. Just pay attention to your tension, and if one side seems looser than the other, then you might want to adapt. Okay, so anyway, slip these 2 edges. Oops, put my yarn in the wrong spot. Sorry about that. We've done. It's always a good idea to X these things off. We've done this and this. So now we've done this row and this row. And now we're onto this one. Okay. Knit the 1, slip, slip, knit the doogie hoogie. Central double decrease. This is a very small point, actually. And the backwards loop. And we knit this stitch and this one. And now what we are going to do is, oh God, I just purled that. Abe, would you stop that? You're confusing me. I'm sorry. Okay, let me knit that. Knit that. And that. And we're going to do an I-cord cast off, which is basically just this. You knit this, you knit these 2 together. Slip, slip, knit this, knit these 2 together. And what we've done here is we've taken care of that stitch, that's been eaten, and this one's been eaten. See that? Now we're going to start doing our backward loops. And these guys, you have to make sure they have the right amount of twist. Actually, that needs 1 more twist. That's just an X. It has to be an all around like that. As I do it, you'll kind of understand why. When you see the results, you'll be like, oh yeah, of course. Otherwise it doesn't look right. Okay, so anyway, knit one, knit these two together, and here we've got the other one, which is just an X, and that's not enough. It needs one more twist. Okay, there we go. So slip that, knit one, knit these two together, slip, slip, knit one, and the final stitch we're eating up here was not a backwards loop. It's actually a stitch from